And so the day begins.
It's beautiful. Gorgeous weather. Okay.
Multiple film crews and photographers heading in all directions across Dubai.
صبحكم الله بالخير من العربية ودائما الموجة 98 فارس 9 ماهر عبد العزيز بصحبتكم حتى 10 صباحا. العديد من الفقرات والأغنيات فدائما ابقوا معنا على الموجة 98 فارس 9.
Tempted by the simmering, beckoning invitation, which is this mysterious place surrounded by desert sands, mountains, and sea, open to the world, yet shrouded in secrecy. Where globalization has not smothered a beguiling history, an irrepressible excitement, and all those who venture here easily succumb to it. What will we discover? I have no idea.
Good morning, Dubai. This is Dino and the morning crew. It's 7 o'clock.
This time of the day is quite busy.
What images could be sought which faithfully secure the truism of peace, that is Dubai?
So, we're going to Muwakib school. It used to be my old high school. It feels kind of weird.
So here, can I just get a little... What's your name or breakfast?
I'm Suhail. I'm on the boat and we're swinging left and right.
Got you, man.
I'll go down with my colleagues, photographer, videographer, and one guy's gonna take some samples.
غواص مصور طارق الشريف. اسمي بدر عبد الله غواص محترف صيد سمك.
Okay. Go.
Ready?
Ready.
Nasser is a UAE national who has dived on several locations around Dubai waters and has always felt strongly about protecting the marine environment. The sea is the mystical twin of land. Most of the Arabian Gulf is shallow, rich with exciting marine life. It's a fine ecosystem. The reefs serve as nurseries for the life, just like the mangroves forests. Reefs provide shelter and nurseries to numerous species before the short journey to the open sea. The sea is a vital connection to the past. From pearl diving to fishing, finding medicine, coral stones were once used to build houses.
I thought maybe we can talk about the franchise as a concept and see why we want to do franchise. I've worked in technology for the last 20 years, and most of my work was mostly related to development of software for businesses. This is our business development unit. We have about 3 people here. You can go inside. I come from the royal family of Sharjah. My parents, both, and especially my late father, was a very open person. He traveled the world, and I think most of this spirit and thinking of the world and passion for the world comes from him. So, 2 American coffee, 1 chamomile. 5 orders, very quickly, because we are shooting. I really wanted to live with American families, so I ended up in Northern California. I learned to know people and to learn cultures. I made a point that people would know me, respect me for what I am, and you know, nothing to do with where my family or my background. I grew up in a family where the community itself and the whole environment around it was not as wealthy as what you see today. Life was much, much simpler. We grew up as 7 children in a house where my mother would make our clothes. All this luxury that you see today was not there.
The founding father of modern Dubai, Sheikh Rashid, some 30-odd years ago, must have envisioned this almost overnight transformation of a sleepy fishing village into a modern metropolis. Oil, natural gas. It's amazing to contemplate what happened, and what happened so fast. This 80-year-old veteran of Al Khalifa, or Dow building, he's seen it all. Engines replacing sails, and boats these days that might weigh 1,400 tons, no longer sewn together with antique Portuguese nails and hardened fiber from coconut fronds. And the days of sailing between Africa and India by the stars is also over. Yet he still teaches his grandchildren the old ways.
Continuing with the seafaring tradition, the creek became a hub of commerce, famed throughout the Gulf. The dhows bring back that age-old romance of Sinbad. These wooden boats or dhows loaded with cargo have been cruising along the trading routes of the Orient for centuries. These same wooden dhows would also go out to the sea for pearl diving. In the past, most of the male population left their families, friends, and dear ones for several months collecting pearl oysters. Unprotected from the menaces of the sea, storms, shark attacks, often the diver's life was a short one. The divers would go to the bottom as much as 60 meters, holding their breath for as long as 5 minutes. In a lucky dive, however, a man might find a large pearl in the oyster and provide the family's fortune. This is how dreams were made.
Dubai promotes a vision everywhere visible on the surface. But there are countless faces behind that stunning transformation. Mohammed El Gergawi is unquestionably one of those people.
This is the future financial center for this part of the world. All the empty area basically from here, from this building all the way down to the last building there on the road. At least you'll have 20, 30 towers that will come up from here. And this is the Dubai International Financial Center. It will attract the A-class financial institution from the world who serve basically this region. So we're moving New York and London closer basically to this region through the Dubai International Financial Center. Our story is, I think, the story of every young national in Dubai. There is no ceiling of your dream in Dubai. You can be wherever you want to be, and you can do whatever you want to do basically, because there is a leadership in Dubai that believe in giving space for the young people in Dubai.
Unless you create the positive energy, unless you are determined to make the positive changes, things won't happen. And I think Dubai exemplifies that to the world. I remember 2 years ago when we talked about e-government, everybody said, Dubai and their PR. But Dubai made it. We actually made that change. We made all the changes we wanted in here, and we're continuing to make more changes. But you have to have the determined mind. You have to have the empowered leaders, the community itself, intellectuals, putting their energy toward this positive change.
Dubai has managed to use its resources that it does have in oil and gas in an incredibly responsible way. It's not about we've got lots of oil, we'll just splash it around and waste it. It is highly focused, and it is spent only on those things which are going to be, in the long term, essentials for the continued sustainable growth of the area, whether there's oil or not.
إنجاز آخر يضاف إلى إنجازات الاتحاد. يصف خبراء السياحة مشروع النخلة بأحد عجائب الدنيا.
أهم شيء يوفر المشروع مساحات وشواطئ رملية تفتقرها دبي. بيضيف المشروع 60 كيلومتر من الشواطئ. الحمد لله الآن نفذنا تقريبا 70% من أعمال البنية الأساسية.
We grew up in 1960s in Dubai. Dubai was almost a small village. There is something special about Dubai, of leaders with a vision, people committed to quality, with the highest standard of living in the world. Hosting the World Bank and IMF meeting for the first time in the Arab world is very important. 16,000 people will be arriving to Dubai from 184 different countries. The policy makers of the world will be here. Any decision they make here, they affect the rest of the world. I'm proud to be part of Dubai, to see the transform from a small village to one of the most important cities in the world. It's a life achievement for me.
The design of the towers captures a moment in time of the poetic movements of a pas de deux by pure juxtaposition of the tower location, the variation in the height. The geometry is evocative of Islamic cultural shapes, the equilateral triangle signifying the earth, the moon, and the sun, and also inscribed in it the pure circle, which is the timeless whole or the unity. The idea behind the design is that you can always see the towers at vantage points as a reference when you're walking through the building. It's a window to Dubai, to be seen and to see.
You gotta be ahead of the change, basically. Always you gotta be one step ahead. And Dubai Internet City and Dubai Media City is one of these projects really that it's creating history in this part of the world. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed had a vision to turn Dubai to the new economy. And part of that vision, moving Dubai to be the hub of all the IT multinational company and the media multinational company. The Microsoft, the Canon, the IBM, the Cisco of the world, the Oracle of the world, all of them are homed here in Dubai Internet City. This is the plan. He said, you got 1 year to do it. In 365 days, I want this thing to be out. I want you to build a smart infrastructure. I want the company to be here and to move in. And that's what we have done. It took us 364 days, 1 day short of really of His Highness deadline.
Halil, I really like that. Da, 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 da. It's really beautiful, you know. And I think to work the Qanun with that, you know, somehow. I want to do an album about Arabia. It's kind of classical, Arabic. It's something that has come out of just being in the Middle East. Some of the lyrics are in English, some of the lyrics are in Arabic. some are in Spanish, and some are in French. So it's a real mix. But the focus of the album is about impressions of Arabia.
Actually, that's what Dubai is all about.
It's exactly what Dubai is.
It's a fusion of all these cultures, but again, it's all Arabia.
Larry, look here.
In the studio, you can do almost anything in terms of orchestra, because with the technology we've got violins and everything. But the one thing you can't sample and play on a keyboard is Arabic instruments. It's absolutely in the field.
Great.
We got there.
Wait, move this way.
It was wonderful watching the young photographer, Alia, working in company with her mentor that day, the veteran Lucy Monroe, as well as with Ron, the eccentric sound man.
Sound rules okay. In fact, I'd go as far as saying I think we should ban video.
This is my old class. Hello. Hi. All right. I'm an old student. How are you? All right. How are you? This was my old class. Really? Yeah.
You go to schools. We have Japanese, German, American, Arab schools, international schools, and a lot of these schools you walk in and there are multinationals. So children are growing up in an environment where it's okay to be there with a Thai, with a British, with an American, with a German, with a Chinese. There's nothing wrong with that. So this society projects an Arab society. It's a Muslim society. This is not an oppressed society. It is open. It actually accommodates multicultures. It's a fast-growing society. It is a place that has so much cultures and so much activities, and it's a tourist destination.
Anybody know what cultural grounding means? I don't buy this thing called global marketing. Okay, Middle East is a region, and that's why sometimes we talk about pan-Middle Eastern marketing. Those are very formalized conglomerations of countries that have simply decided to remove trade barriers. But trade barriers in general are coming down all over the world. These are the opponents of global marketing. That's their argument. All right. You hear all the time of the global village.
I'm just going to introduce myself. Hi. Is that seat for me? Hi. Hi, I'm Katerina. Hey.
We're moving into globalization. So we are not independent by ourselves. We are restricted in time and in business-wise. With other markets, with other nations, we are dependent on them, they depend on us.
Because we are globalizing and because we've become diverse, you tell me that now we have to change all our traditions and leave all our morals and methods behind and just adapt to these new ones?
The whole idea here is to hold on to your identity, but live to today's times.
You should know how to move your culture
itself all the way with globalization? Because if you miss your identity, okay, what else left for you? You know what I mean?
Small point of view.
I have a friend that went to Europe to study, and they asked her, by the way, do you go to school on a camel? She's like, yeah, we carpool on a camel.
I'm sorry, but that's ignorance on their part.
It's not ignorance.
It's not about their part, it's about the media.
Well, I was asked if we had elevators in Sweden, so... All right. All right, and walk towards me. Okay. Just walk all the way past me now.
Not a day passes that environmental issues do not surface in the media of the Emirates. Here at a hotel in Dubai, students from throughout the UAE gather as part of the Emirates Environment Group.
About the destruction of wildlife.
For a nation whose revenues have been largely dependent upon a unique geological bonanza given to fossil fuels, this new generation of ecologists is, if anything, a radical departure from the status quo.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will run out of oil, or maybe oil will lose its value. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but as we car lovers, we'll soon have to bite the bullet, and so will the next generations.
We must all remember and respect that all creatures and all living species on this planet are the creation of Allah. And being the most intelligent species of them all, we have been put on this planet as custodians of this planet. Therefore, the responsibility on our shoulders is big, and we should be up to it.
Every alternative can be used. Every vital piece of modern technology can be used. But there is only one conclusion, and that is, oil proves to be king.
Even the people living in this country largely foresee it only as a desert country. But this is not only desert. This is a very rich country with a lot of biodiversity, with a lot of hidden treasures that we feel it is our duty to bring it to the attention of the community.
Daryush had a secret place he wanted to find. He led the team into the ancient village of Hatta, an oasis near the mountains of Oman, and then into a deep gorge and beyond.
Very soft. It's gonna get close to those sand falls there. Wow, what a nature.
Finally, he found the place.
Really, really nice. Beautiful sandfall there. It's just like a water. Has worked its way down to a little gorge and just falling down.
100-foot-high walls of sand streaming down like lava. An orgy of color and subtlety. The seven sands of Arabia. The sand stretches from Dubai to Saudi Arabia, encompassing that region generally referred to as the empty quarter. But it is anything but empty.
It's an area of the world which is the transition point between Africa and Asia. And the wildlife mixes and the species mixes are unique in this location.
And that's a firebush, yeah? They're pretty wild horns, aren't they?
The males and the females have a very strict sort of hierarchy within the herd.
And then will the one dominant male stay as the leader of the herd for several years?
Well, he'll have to keep the competition away.
The leadership of Dubai is unhesitating when it comes to anything that concerns their commitment towards conservation.
Shut off the engine, please.
I don't think I'd go that far. He's gone.
What we did first here by creating this 30 square kilometer wildlife reserve and excluding all livestock apart from the indigenous species. We have then reintroduced the Arabian oryx. That's an endangered species. The breeding programs have been incredible. When you consider that in the Arabian Gulf, there are almost none left in the wild, this is one of the few places. It will be one of the most significant conservation developments by a long way for the entire Gulf region.
It was very powerful and emotional, going from a conservation area where scientists are working to save species from extinction to the El Wasl Hospital, where doctors and nurses and researchers are keeping children alive. Children afflicted with a rare disease called thalassemia, which depletes the victim's hemoglobin and, if not treated routinely with blood transfusions, can be fatal. Our crew came upon a family of 5 children, each of whom suffers from this terrible disease.
Here, Maria. Look.
We tried in our policy here to save the time for the patient and for the parents, because it's lifelong disease forever. There is no cure for the existing patients except to give them this blood transfusion and the medication. They know that this is the life-saving for them, so they will accept the pain to live.
Actually, very interesting face. The sadness, the quietness, and this is associated with this disease. And nothing is moving, and she knows she's receiving her life through the blood. Thank you. You're very beautiful. Thank you. Yes, that's a good picture. You like? Yeah? Okay. She's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Yeah, yeah. They all are, you know. And you can really read the pain and what situation, what state they are in their eyes.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
In 30 years, culture doesn't change that fast. The fast pace of construction and development and the influx of the different nationalities and culture is one thing, but preserving culture is a totally different story. Sometimes it's concern and fear of the unknown. And for that, you have to give credit to the society for being tolerant of all this, doing this fast shift with the society itself and the fast pace and the changes, that they still are being able and capable of moving along with it, but yet in many ways they are actually preserving the cultural society itself as families. And to me, it is very crucial that people remain with their identity. Changes in an all sort and form is okay, but identity as a person, who you are, what your culture is all about, what people are, is so precious. Today, one of the most advantaged things that people have here is extended family.
لا فعليك على شو هكذا تفضلي لا تفضلي
بشرة تعالي شو اللي حطي على الصفرة هاي الصفرة اللي ها ايش هذه الصفرة؟
تمام شاف منو معلم منك؟ Now they're gonna have lunch, so I'm gonna take photographs while they're eating.
Watching Alia work amid a family that could just as easily have been her own, it was remarkable to see.
Usually the family always eats together, but for example, if let's say they have visitors or guests or whatever, then no, the men would eat by themselves and the women would eat by themselves. It's a nice feeling like that no matter what nowadays, I mean, for me, that I'm actually studying and I have different hours and my parents have different hours, so it's very rare, you know, to find each other, but during meals we always have them together, so it's a very important moment.
The social graces, the gentleness, the joy. And even more remarkable, to learn that this is not the norm, that women do not simply lift their veils and expose their faces to strangers, we among the crew who'd been so lovingly invited into their home. It felt so good to be there with 3 generations under one roof.
نحن في الجريدة ما عندنا رقابة، بس الدولة عاملة نوع من الحظر عدم نشر الأخبار اللي فيها بلبلة.
What is the most important on your minds?
شو قصة ما حصلت وحصل عمرها. عموما الصحافة العربية كلها وظروف الإمارات في قانون مطبوعات النشر. كل جريدة لها سياسة. الدستوري حاليا. عمر متى بيجون في الاسبوع تحدد الموعد زياره باول؟
Colonel Powell.
Yeah, Colonel Powell.
عدم دعم الارهاب حسب تصنيفهم لسوريا.
This is their opinion.
This is not their opinion. This is whatever Colin Powell he discussed with Syria.
My name is Paul. Your name?
I'm Haider Mohammed.
Haider
Mohammed. Yes.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Flashing, everybody, keep flashing. Haider Mohammed's tasteful teases affected the whole crew. He joked about an anti-SARS burqa. Explain the joke.
Yeah, instead of mask, they're wearing burqa, new fashion, they did. Like our traditional
So SARS becomes a new traditional burqa.
Yeah.
Arabic humor is contagious. Haider Mohammed, well, he's richly infected with it.
الآن طبعا كل شيء يحصل أمامي أنظر من زوايا مختلفة عن الزوايا اللي يشوفونها الناس.
Anything happens, he translates it as a cartoon in his mind.
طبعا فاهم يعني عامل آسيوي مخالف ما عنده بطاقة، سأل الشرطي وين بطاقتك؟ طلع بطاقة التليفون، أنا قال بطاقة التليفون تمشي؟
And you make sure that it is in the center actually. So you just by checking from bottom, you know that it's in the center, and you know you cross this. This is the you can see from street that this is here in the center. So it is in the center.
Yeah.
So you just put this on the top and make sure it is in the center. Eyes. Just finish. That's it. Some people are just putting this up, putting it down, a different look it come, you know. You just make like this. You see the smoke is going through the vatra, and then it giving a smell inside. Similarly,
go right on it, huh?
I don't have to be burned attention.
So that's it. That's how it works.
Just
huh?
Yeah, you just do it like it.
take some pictures here. It's amazing working with all these smells around. It's just, you can imagine people spending their whole day here. It should be very healthy, I guess. Salam, salam.
This is saffron all together with flour. This is all saffron together. This is only head.
This is amazing. I never saw it like this before.
This is pure saffron from Iran, best quality.
This is unbelievable.
Just a little like this, put in the water, after put in the rice. All rice come yellow color. Put in the coffee, put in the tea, put in the soup, put in the rice. Every day use the saffron.
That's great. You look at the size of these shops, it's just unbelievable. It's brilliant. And look how many stuff they have, how high they go with their storage. Kaisa.
You look to smell, the smell is nice.
Oh.
Wow.
Perfect.
In some ways, Dubai is very much like the U.S. I mean, for us, we've been out of the U.S. now for almost 7 years. So, you know, our exposure to the U.S. often is during the summertime when we take the family back on vacation. The conveniences and the quality of life, Dubai has a lot to offer, which I would rival to either Europe or the U.S. in terms of standard of life.
Okay.
A much easier lifestyle here than like when we lived in Europe. I loved Europe, but this is a much easier. When we moved here, I felt it was very much like living in the States.
I hope that everyone who comes to Dubai is enjoyed in Dubai. I think we are doing to do it, whether it is business job side of it or it is government side of it. We are trying to do our best to make excellent life for people.
شو تسوين بهذا يعني؟
نسوي نحطها على الشنادير.
They use it for clothes, for the kandora, the national dress.
نحطها على السراويل، نسوي بادلة.
The pants that they wear at the very end.
أول ما شيء مخور وشيء شو اسمه شراها الحين في كل مكان في الخياط لا ولا تخدمي بيديك روحك. كندورة خيطها روحك سروال خيطها روحك بيديك يعني.
No, she was just saying how in the olden days everything was made by hand. You didn't have the tailor to go and do and everything. So I wanted to have a little bit of eye contact. تروين تطالعين بس الكاميرا الله يخليك. شكرا.
Excellent. I have shadows. خليكم. I need those shadows. They are fantastic.
This is the closest I ever got to people dancing عيالة or anything similar.
خليك.
These local dancers are performing an old Arabian arda, as it's known. It is meant traditionally to elicit cohesion as an expression of tribal strength. Their sticks, called haizarana, have replaced the traditional swords.
The camel traditionally was the Bedouins' transport. It was also food and milk. They call them the ships of the desert. They can go for phenomenally long periods of time without water. Their big flat feet mean that they don't sink into the sand. Their beautiful long eyelashes keep the sand out of their ears. Look at the hair in their ears. They're designed perfectly for the desert. Camels have a sort of haughty aura about them. Very photogenic. Okay, that's nice.
أيوة أيوة بسرعة أيوة أيوة أكثر أكثر أيوة أيوة جميل أحسن.
Hello, how are you? What's your name? I'm Joe Sassin.
Amazing animals. They have language, scientists tell us, and an attitude that defies easy understanding. The Bedouin love them.
هلا إذا ثانية ما زينك
Okay.
ياكوس يدعى بي صلب واتوناح ياكوس يدعى بي.
You cannot separate the Arab heritage from the horses, the Arabian horse. The Arabian horses that the world is so fond of today, it's acclaimed worldwide, and the beauty, the strength, all of the characteristics are bred by the Bedouin over centuries to create the toughest, strongest horse in the desert. And they were both hunting partners, travelling partners, and their war horses. So, and that is why, probably more so than the camel and the falcon, the Arabian horse is the Arab's heritage. You're my umbrella man. I need him looking just over there, so just maybe in the paddock. I didn't realise how intelligent they were and how incredibly beautiful and noble. And you see that intelligence through the lens. Good, there. Just there. We say that you can train or you can make a horse do more or less anything. That is true. With an Arabian, you have to negotiate with it. And I think it's that intelligence and that strength that comes through in them when you photograph them.
At sunset, Dubai explodes with a new and vivid art gallery of hue and nuance, pacing, humidity, temperature. A different world entire emerges. The Dara Creek becomes a living, breathing matisse, stippled with color.
I can imagine 50 years ago. This time, the pearl divers used to return home with their pearls and dreams after spending months in the sea. The desert, the sea. I want to capture these moments, these emotions, because it's where the past and present merge as one.
The desert for me is very romantic. For others, it may be a barren, empty landscape. To me, it symbolizes life, freedom, space, and something which allows people to dream.
This is the last race meeting of the season at Nadal Shiba. The race that we're seeing tonight is the Gold Cup and the Arabian Derby, which is the final and one of the biggest Arabian races for the Arabian racehorses. Sometimes, for example, a really big race where you've got to get every single runner, you're literally running around the paddock and you've only got a few minutes to get it. It's nice for the horses to run on, it's not good for us to walk on. I always try and pick either dead level with the finish or slightly offset. Let's try and get some slow motion action as they come past this time. That was a good one.
Hello, good evening. It's just gone 8 o'clock and it's going to be a fairly cool night tonight. 29 is the low, humidity at 60%.
Seven, 6, 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1.
هذا وقد التقت غونداليزا رايس مستشارة الأمن القومي الأمريكية.
ونتواصل على العربية 98 فارس 9. أغانينا تتواصل معكم. نستمع لراشد الماجد ومشكلني على العربية 98 فارس 9.
يا سلام الله أهواه وهو وجوده يا الغلا أهواه وإذا ابتعد يا هنا بالي شو أسوي له
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. سلام. كيف الصحة؟ شو Shall we go in? أنا بس بدي نصور صورة.
نسوي صورة؟ تفضل ما في مشكلة هذا رباط.
Where from?
Yes, you.
Me, Lebanon. You? China. You work here?
من الجولان.
من الجولان.
نعم.
من سوريا.
نعم.
اها. تسلم تسلم كلك ذوق كلك ذوق. What is this? Hey, smile, smile, everybody. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. One more time, one more time.
تفضلوا اشربوا عندنا شيء. تفضلوا اشربوا عندنا شيء.
تسلم.
تفضل.
Hello. How are you? Fine. Fine. 1, 2. Very good. One more time.
These multi-generational musicians and dancers are performing what is called Nuban. Its African musical roots are akin to the pentatonic scale. They are traditional healers from their own culture, and they seek to bring happiness and solidarity to the community. They remain low profile wherever they go, because they are not necessarily embraced by the mainstream. On their waists are the vertebrae of sheep for musical percussion. These men and women are part of a cultural puzzle that continues to enrich the life of this region.
النوبان أتانا عن طريق السفر الكبير وتوطن عندنا في الإمارات من أكثر من 150 سنة. رقصة فيها طقوس تمثل السعادة والبهجة والتفاؤل الإنساني.
It's a vast place. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you? Thank you. Why do people come to Dubai?
Dubai has always been a destination where people came to because it's such an incredible land of opportunity. The Arabian hospitality is renowned throughout the world. This year we had 16 million passengers, 2002, and we expect to have about 18 million coming this year in 2003.
That's what you call a mix of people. Can we have a smile from the crew, please? So that's the plane landing.
Taxiing inside the runway, backtrack.
How many flights in the night?
For landing, departure, everything, maybe it will cost 400 one day.
In one day?
From morning to night. And they are building new terminal now. At 2006, they will finish it. This is especially just only for Emirates, yeah. Dubai Ground, Salam Alaikum. This is Operation By 5. Request use all taxiway maintain good lookout. Score, Habibi.
So now we're going to Terminal 2. Okay. Because this plane's coming, so let's run. I want to catch it between the lights. There we go, baby. That's the one. Straight ahead. Two more shots. Give me the focus. Boom. Oof. You heard of storm chasers? Well, this is a new one. Plane chasers. It's the first.
Katrina's late for her next photographic assignment. It's after midnight, and totally by chance, a passing police vehicle stops and offers to take her to her next location. Joe's off to the Mina Siyahi for a beach party. Joe goes wild. His strobes go wild. What is this guy looking for? Sheer energy.
People in Dubai love music. They really do. So I've been here for 13 years. Really enjoy it. I expect about 2,000 people here tonight, mostly sort of expats, Western expats.
It's well after midnight. People have stopped praying, working, even thinking. All is a dream now in the Emirates. A clear sky over Dubai, and a celebration of being human.
The bridge across the creek, spanning time, cultures, sensibilities. A true bridge to the past and to the future. For decades, opening, closing, and opening again, in a ritual that has permitted the flow of commerce, of peoples, ideas, and dreams. Tomorrow, another day, and a million sets of heartbeats gracing the world, in a place called Dubai.